Um, so this month we're talking all about organizing, right? How do we organize our business? We can double our sales, make shit happen, get things moving. And we have our workshop on Thursday, where we're going to dive into a lot of things. We're definitely going to be diving into, really creating an actual calendar and time blocking and how we plug and play all that stuff in. But there's some other basics that I also wanted to kind of touch on to get us prepared for Thursday as well. So some really simple things such as, you know, how are we organizing our actual space? What does our workspace look like? Is it clean? Is it tidy? Is it a place that works for us? Does it have workability? Does it inspire us? Does it allow us to focus? So just starting with our workspaces, and I think we have lots of workspaces right now because depending on what's happening, we might have to be doing a call in one room or working somewhere else with a big enough table and like vice versa. So how do you guys feel about your actual workspace? And do you have a dedicated space or is it more floating?
I can go. I have a dedicated space. It's in my living room. I have it shared with my boyfriend. So obviously it's when he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing, then one of us has to kind of move. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the ideal space, but it works. It's definitely not neat and tidy. All the crap. Lots of
Oh my
times.
goodness, it's not so bad. When
That's right.
people say things they're messy, I imagine like literally stuff everywhere and like dog toys on top of piles of work paper and things like that. Andrea, how about you?
I mean, I have an office slash art studio, and it's my easel and everything, but it's conducive to painting, but I wouldn't say to doing anything else. Like when I start a painting, there's like paint everywhere, brushes everywhere, but then I'm still working from home. So my actual like desk is not clean. It's not conducive to doing that job. And so it's just kind of like it compared to the rest of my house, my office is not clean.
Got it. Yeah, so there's just some tips, and I'm going to dive more into it in regards on Thursday. But one of the things that's really important for me that actually makes a huge difference is looking at what's at my workspace and if it's actually for work or not. Like I've actually gotten rid of like inspiring things at my desk because they were just taking up space. I was like, I don't need you there. So I do have a cork board that's here next to me that I pin things I have to remember, or I'm putting a few things that I can inspire me, but otherwise I'm really leaving my workspace clean. The other thing that I've been tackling as well in regards to organizing my business is how do I not have any paper? Like, how do I be paper free? So obviously right now on my desk, I do have some paper, right? Because I like have some scrap paper where I'm taking some like notes if I can't put it into a digital doc or something else faster. But what I will be sharing on Thursday is like just like a restaurant has opening duties and closing duties, there's a few things that we can do to start our day powerfully and end our day strong so that we can be best prepared for what's coming next. And so one of my closing duties really is how do I get everything off my desk before the day ends. And it doesn't take long. It's like in 10 minutes, I can do the whole checklist of like, how do I get ready for tomorrow? But it really also speaks to both, KonMariing your desk space, but also really looking at what do I need or not. Because if our mental list is full of a lot of projects we're trying to tackle, then our desk is usually full of a lot of things we're trying to tackle. And what I've been trying to do is look at what is on my desk that I can get done and throw away, or what is on my desk that I can put a note in my calendar and get rid of this other stuff, just so that I have both as much clarity as possible in my physical spaces and my mental spaces. The other thing that kind of ties into that is, so paper is a huge thing, right? How do we manage papers? How do we manage our actual kind of setup? And then the other thing that falls into that is expenses. So who has a system for tracking their business expenses that they feel really confident in? Kendra, tell us about it. What's your routine? What's your expenses system?
It's just QuickBooks. It does it all for me. And then monthly I go in and review them all and then accept them and then reconcile them to make sure that sometimes it doesn't all come in. So you could think you're good and then have $1,000 off. So the reconciliation helps too, to make sure it's all in sync and matches your bank.
And that way you don't need to keep paper receipts.
No, I don't keep anything. I think I was with you one time and you're like, you're going to throw that receipt away? I was like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a great solution. I also use QuickBooks. The only time I'm keeping a paper receipt is if I paid cash for something, or if I need to potentially return something, or if it's something that I just think is like not a normal expense that I might need to justify at a deeper level. But otherwise, everything else, most things I'm not asking for paper anything. I've switched everything to digital. I have a folder in my email that says taxes, and under it I have every kind of year. So any expense, medical email, bill, receipts, I just drag them all into that year. I don't organize them any farther because I only need to go in that folder if I need backup for something. And then what's great is after a couple of years, you just delete the whole folder because it doesn't matter anymore.
I've always been told to keep itemized receipts.
Usually you need, so again, I'm not a tax advisor, so you'll have to check with your accountant or CPA. But itemized receipts, usually if you have a digital copy, that counts, that is your receipt, so it would be itemized. And it's usually for specific things. So like things that get questioned a lot are more in the like meals and entertainment space where you might want an itemized receipt. But my accountant has never asked me for an itemized receipt for anything so far. So
I think it's only if you get audited, but like my QuickBooks has, if you really want to be on it, you can upload a digital, you can like attach it to the receipt. I also keep this in my purse so that if I have things I need to keep, it's in here. Otherwise, they are crumpled at the bottom of my bag. This is helpful.
and that happens to be a pull bag that is available from Scribble with Pink.
Yeah, but it can be anything. But yes, if you want it really cute, we can add your monogram to it.
Yeah, sorry, Courtney, that Germany likes real paper. Yeah. So obviously, if you talk to your CPA and your accountant and ask them what they want you to keep. You do get paper. So again, having just one folder for all tax things, whether they're personal or business, I do because I don't want to spend time organizing my files, and I'm going to have to organize them before I get them to my accountant anyway. So I have one folder, physical folder. I have one email folder for each year. I put all the stuff in there, and then when I'm preparing for my accountant, that's when I'm sorting it out there. I will write like a note on top of the receipt sometimes to remind me what it is, or to say personal, not business, or whatever I need to. So when I look at it again later, I know. But I realized a couple years ago, I was spending way too much time like filing stuff that I didn't care about when I had to like look at it again anyway. So I'm basically just throwing it into something so I can do the one touch method later. Other things, if you have people with on your team that have to invoice you, having them fill out spreadsheets, you can keep everything digital, and they can also upload copies of receipts into folders. So if you need to print it out sometime, you can. There's a lot, even with QuickBooks, and I believe their competitors on their app, you can also take photos of things like from your phone so that you don't even need a scanner anymore. Questions you guys have about expenses and paper and and workspace, organization, and inspiration. Okay. The other areas that are key for organization. So we've talked about going paperless. We've talked about the desk space. We've talked a little bit about expenses. Is having a center for all of your logins. Personally, I use LastPass. Kendra used LastPass too, perfect. So I have a link for it if you guys want to access LastPass for yourselves, but it is the cheapest thing I pay for and the most useful thing I have. I think it ends up being like $5 a month if you buy the year program, but it allows you to save every password, every login for your entire life, and then you can share those logins with people. And because the logins can get you can have them fill your password for you. You can share crazy passwords with people who can see it or not see it, and then your whole team can log into Instagram or your generic email or whatever you need, your website. And it's really easy when you stop working with somebody, or let's say an intern comes and goes, you just go into the LastPass and remove their access, and that's it. So it's so clean. I even use it for personal things, like I'll share our login to Sling TV with Jesse or something. So it makes it so organized, and then it's called LastPass because if you remember your password to get in, that's the only password you have to remember ever again. It is a game changer. We're running into some issues with a current client of mine where they're having me help organize some things for them. And in my head, we can go super fast. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll post it here, 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 here. We'll have it up by Friday. And then we realized nobody on the team had access to do that. Everything was being stuck going through this one person. And the solution was just a LastPass or similar account to share everything. So having everything where you can easily in 3 seconds from your phone or your desktop or your laptop share login information with people so they can help you is also a game changer. And then you also don't lose anything. And you can also save money because if you use your basic email login, you don't need to create extra logins or pay for extra users or anything like that because they can all log in as you. So you can you'll more than save the money that you invest in LastPass through that way. Do you guys use any other password login saving apps?
We use LastPass, and like you said, it's fan-freaking-tastic. And also, people keep trying to hack all of our stuff. Why, I don't know what they want with our stuff, but we've had to make the passwords more and more and more complex, especially our Instagram. So now Instagram's 19 crazy characters long. So it's helpful to have my digital team, which is a contractor, have their account, and they only have access to a certain folder to get this crazy password every time. So I love it. It's a lifesaver.
Hi guys, I'm sorry my video's not working, so I can see you, you can't see me. I just started using LastPass maybe 60 days ago, and game changer. It was about fabulous, so thank you, Kara, for finally twisting my arm hard enough. It's been great for me because I don't have to remember or have the same password for everything, which is, I guess, safety-wise, great. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And this sounds like a lot.
is definitely amazing.
Oh, what's that, Leah? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say LastPass is definitely amazing. It's easy to just plug it in. Sometimes I'll do the Apple passwords through Keychain, which also makes my life easy. But I think most of them are in LastPass now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is
we're like a LastPass commercial.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be, but we're all use it. Okay, so that's another area. And then another thing that we can get organized with that can be a game changer about time has to do with social media, right? So the first step, as we talked a little bit about in our social media workshop a couple of months ago, was really knowing, one, if you need social media, two, knowing what platform you actually need, and how you reduce the platforms that you're using. And again, just as a quick reminder, you don't need social media to have a successful business. Depending on your business, different platforms might be more valuable. And if you are a team of one, I wouldn't encourage using more than one platform. Like pick one, make it your base, make sure it's the right one for your customers and your product type, and just use that one. And similar to what I talked about on Thursday about creating these phases and milestones to know when you should move on to your next project, I would do the same thing about like giving yourself boundaries about like when am I allowed to like add Facebook to my Instagram, or when am I allowed to add LinkedIn? Because we want, part of thriving in your business and life is about focusing. It also is the fastest way to achieve your goals if you're super hyper focused in one place. So think about what those metrics should be. Like after I make X amount of money, or I have X number of clients or X number of customers, then I can move on. Now, of course, there's the asterisk with this. In the event the platform you're using is not moving at the velocity that you want it to, you may want to explore if you're using the right platform or if you have the right strategy. I don't want you staying in one platform that's not working for you, but we shouldn't be thinking of like needing a 6-part multi-dimensional social media strategy, especially when you're a single member business. Now, if you have a team and you're building things out, you can start expanding a little bit more, but even there, most of the time you don't need to be on every platform and it wouldn't make sense for your business. So think about only expanding when you're ready to take that next step and go to those next people. But from an organizational part, once you've been organized about the structure, like where you're going to be and what platform is the right one, social media is something that you can block and tackle. So how do you plan a whole month, or how do you plan everything in advance, spend one day doing it, post it all, and then you don't think about social media again for another month. You do not need to post every day. You do not need stories every day. Like really look at what can I do and what phase is my business in regards to social media conversations. Who feels that who wants to share their own example of like how they've strategized social media so that it's manageable, or like figured out what platform is best for them? Kendra, go ahead. Oh, you're on mute, I think.
There's a ton of different platforms. We use Planoly, which has been really good for us. It's super cheap. It's like $9 a month. I think we're going to switch to Iconosquare because it provides a lot more insight, but the base idea is the same. It's you're planning, like you said, we plan about 45 days out. And so once a month we sit down and we plan all of the posts. The grid looks beautiful. All the captions are in, you schedule them. And then once a day it says it's time to schedule, or like to post, and then you click post and it goes. So it made our life so much easier to do it all at once. Like before we were having to do it constantly and it was driving me insane. So super helpful to put it out like a whole month in advance and to have your strategy there. And then we just go in and have stories and stuff too. You can use the platforms to post your stories as well. So super helpful.
And with Planoly, you only need to manually post things that they can't do automatically. So if it's a regular image, that can be scheduled and you never need to touch it again. Like we couldn't do the intense posting and sharing we do on like International Women's Day, for example, if we didn't have half of them preset to go on their own. Planoly doesn't let you auto post carousels or videos. So those you do need to do on your own. But if you're not doing a carousel or a video, it's just a regular single image, you're fine to just like post.
And it won't let you tag your location either. But Iconosquare, I think, is where we're going to go. And I think everyone really like it because it shows you the insight. So it tells you like, it gives you like you can go do like a free analysis. So you guys can just go in and put your Instagram in there. I did the other day and it was really cool. It spit out this whole report and it was like, your conversion rate should be like X amount and you're at this amount, like, and told us we were awful. So, it can tell you what your engagement rates are. It can tell you all these different items, which I was trying to figure out on my own, going through like the Instagram Insights tab, which is frustrating. And then it can track it every month too. So you can set KPIs and set goals and then have it track it for you.
And I'm dropping the link in for you guys. Okay, so then just like you can plan and strategize social media, you can do the same thing for email marketing too, right? So part of when we build out our calendar on Thursday, part of it will be how do we block in the maintenance, which social media and email marketing, if you have them, become part of your maintenance plan once you've launched it, right? Because if it's pre-launch, it's a project. Once it's launched and ready to go, it becomes maintenance. So part of that will be choosing what day of the month or what day of the week are we going to block out to do that work. So think about what things, again, you want to be bringing to the table for that. The last thing to think about in regards to things that we can organize that really boosts our business is how are we tracking customer service and opportunities to support customers at a different level. I know Kendra has been recommending this fandom book to me about making your customers your fans. I'm currently reading a book called The Magic of Moments, I think it is. Once I finish it, I'll post it in the library. But there's so many opportunities left on the table to dazzle customers that usually don't cost us anything. But how are we tracking where customer service is? This is a big thing that I'm leveling up for my KDCC coaching business, because there's so many opportunities that we haven't been doing. Just offer better customer service, letting people know how many sessions they have left, celebrating milestones that have been hit, just having it be a more lubricated system so people feel not that they're just getting great sessions, but that the organization behind and the operations behind the coaching and that business are also well oiled. So that's another thing that we'll be diving into. We'll probably talk more about that topic next week in our Thursday conversation. But those are some of the key highlights of some other things to think about for organizing our business. So to recap again, this list, it is, how we're managing and organizing our workspace or our office, both for it being a space of creation and inspiration, but also like just tidy so we can get our work done. How are we eliminating as much paper as possible in our lives and not letting it get onto our desk? How are we managing expenses? So they can be a complete pain in the butt. How are we organizing and blocking and tackling social media and email marketing? And then lastly, how are we keeping track of customer support, and how are we systematizing ways to provide bonuses in not in like a literal bonus, but like bonuses that are unexpected for our customers. Questions, thoughts? What is your feedback or questions or insights based on today's conversation?
I really love your whole philosophy around the workspace, creating efficiencies, creating organized pathways for you to get your job done effectively, but not only effectively, but with power and with real inspiration. I think that is like a key component to hit the ground running every morning and having a tidy desk.
Yeah. I don't know if you were on the call yet, Nancy, but on Thursday when we're doing our workshop, part of what I'm going to distribute is like a CEO opening duties list and a CEO closings duty list, which part of it is like, how do we tidy up before we wrap up the day?
Good job.
Yeah, a lot of these are things that I've kind of been working on over the last couple of days, is just sitting. I like kind of share my workspace with like my kitchen and my bedroom. My bedroom has not been super tidy lately. So the other day I was just like, all right, I'm done with this shit. It's
Oh, Leah, you muted yourself. I'm not sure if you did that, if you were done or if it was an accident.
totally not on purpose. No, just trying to keep my room a little bit more tidy. And so that I can more easily work there. I find I struggle with, like, I really love handwriting things, and so like I tend to collect a lot of paper. It's like a really good way for me to do like brain dumping, is just to like make it tangible and like physically write. So I've been trying to like convert over to like docs, which I struggle with. Just like I just don't love like keeping track of things on the computer, but trying to shift that.
Have you seen that magical template that you can write on and it converts to a digital doc?
No.
I'm looking for it right now. There's
So cool. I
It's
see it.
called Noteworthy,
oh wait, let me
I think.
It's I can't find it right now, but if you Google like a template or an iPad or something, like there's an it looks like an iPad or a Kindle that you can literally write on, and it
Oh,
comes
it's
with
called
a-
Remarkable.
Thank you.
I'll send a link.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thanks.
I've been wanting
But
this
it's
for
this,
a while.
yeah, me too, because you literally can write and like draw pictures and do all this stuff, and it converts it to a digital doc for you. I haven't tried it, so I don't know if it does make paper go away, but I really like it because sometimes it's hard to be in a Zoom and do things and take notes digitally. So I often have scrap paper at my desk. So another thing to think about for those of us who it's easy to hoard paper and digital things because we're trying to keep all of our ideas and not lose a thought. If you've read the book Big Magic, I hope it will give you some freedom in knowing that not every thought we need to keep. But sometimes I just do scrap paper because I really don't need to keep anything that I wrote down once I did it. Once I set up the appointment or once I put this a note in my monday.com or did something else, I don't need it. So one thing to be cautious of going to digital docs is we can also have too many digital docs. We just don't see them, but you know, we also don't need them. So how do you streamline it? Like I have one note stock for every client where I can put all that stuff in, but it's just one per person. I'm trying not to have like, I'm trying to control the number of strategy docs I have for myself because I can get a little crazy.
There's also OneNote. I love OneNote, and so it's free on your computer, I believe, with PCs. I think Mac too, I'm not sure. But it basically is like a notebook, and then you can set in different notebooks. So what I did was I made like one for each department, and I could share it with my employees, and so we could share common notes. And then I'm also a paper person, so I bought myself an iPad to write on with my pencil, and it went into OneNote too. So it's not as cool as this Remarkable thing, but at least it was all organized. And then like within each notebook, you can have different sections and like different chapters to keep yourself organized.
And another great one that can work on any system is Evernote. Yeah, but also Google Docs is free. Evernote has some level of free version. Yeah. All right, it is 9 o'clock. Any other comments, thoughts? Help me, I need this right now to get organized. Any? All right. Well, guys, I will see you on Thursday for our exciting workshop. It's going to be super fun. And you're going to leave with a calendar that works for you. So you can start to see like, oh shit, I can actually get all the stuff done that I want to. So I cannot wait to do the exercise. It's one of my favorites. And you're going to get to leave with like pants on fire. So I can't wait to see you guys nerd out with me and get excited. And then from that, we get to build on all the other bigger things that will start to show you how this organizational system will allow you to have that focus you need to get big projects done, to get your maintenance things done, but most importantly, get done what's needed to convert customers and clients to revenue. So super excited about that. Have an amazing week, an amazing Monday. I feel like if nothing else, the first 2021 sign that things are going to be better is that the Cleveland Browns won last night for the first time since 1964. I am not a Browns fan other than the fact that I am a fan of underdogs. And to me, that is a sign that the 2021 universe is on our side.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, you are awesome. I will see you on Thursday. If you need anything else in the meantime, please message me or put it on the board in Thrive, and we will go from there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.